Right here, we're sitting in the headquarters of the Concrete Motorsports out here in Corona, California. Kevin and myself and the team, we always want to win. So we're constantly trying to be a step ahead of the next guy. This sport is so evolving. Everyone gets faster. Every product gets better. Lately, we've been working with Mesa Motorsports on developing their second-gen 5-speed transmission to go behind a Gibbs engine with higher RPM. A lot of people don't know the story, what we're doing. On the internet world, it just looks like we DNF'd again, that we're not doing something right on our part, so to speak. But we signed up to R&D this transmission, and with R&D, you're gonna get breakdowns in testing, you're gonna get DNFs and races. It's just something we signed up for, but we think we're on the verge of getting it all figured out, and when it's together, it's gonna be worth it 100%. You could test 800,000 miles and have perfect day testing. There's something about when you go through tech and you put that race participant sticker on, changes everything. The only way we can get an accurate test and make this product the best it can be is by entering in a race. So, you know, it's kind of a roll the dice if we're gonna make it or if we're not. Parker felt great qualifying. It was pretty sandy, and the first straightaway, I feel I was in second gear when I should have been in third. It sounded great, the engine was screaming. But you go look at data, and I was doing about 100 with 130 mile an hour wheel spin, so I wasn't going anywhere fast. Missed corners and some tire spinning, but truck felt great. Transmission was working really well, and I think we ended up third there. We're coming into it with the hopes of winning, but we're also coming into it with the back of our mind, we're testing this new transmission. Had a really clean lap going. Third physical at pit 2, which is about 70 miles, I think. We had Jax on time. I was in his dust, and then I had a spot in my head already, picked out where I was gonna get Jax and go try to catch Kyle. And about 10 minutes later, it just went into all neutrals. That right there was very frustrating, heartbreaking. You get mad, you scream at first, and then you just put your head down. It's like, yes, we signed up for this. It's part of the R&D, but it's just a big bummer especially when you're doing well in a race, and then something does let you down. It's gut wrenching. Off-road racing to me is the biggest love-hate relationship that you can come up with. One day you're happy as heck, you just won the Parker 425, and next year you go into it and you're sitting sideline 70 miles in. I'm gonna work on my new job for Tuba Films.
Part-time race car driver.
Yeah, part-time race car driver, semi-professional photographer. I started doing some filming of the cars going by. I'm not sure how I did, but I got some interviews with Bo. He's pretty camera shy, so what do you think?
I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore.
What are you doing out here?
We're hanging out, waiting for everyone to catch up, then we're gonna take off again and go get them.
We are pulling the pan to confirm it's flex plate, but it doesn't spin over.
With the start, if you hear the starter spin and the motor don't turn over, that is definitely the flex plate.
We lost the flex plate, sir. After getting back to the shop and looking at it, we didn't actually break a transmission. We broke a flex plate, which connects the transmission to the engine. So no forward gears. So as a team, we got together and decided, had 100 miles on the trans, let's pull it out, have Mason take a look at it, make sure everything looks good. And then we decided to go to King of Hammers the weekend after. Out here at King of the Hammers.
Good?
Getting ready to do some qualifying and then head straight into racing. Soaking up the sun because it's freezing. It's freezing.
Literally.
Can't feel my hands. King of the Hammers is one of the gnarliest courses or races I've done. I grew up racing more in MDR, so I raced a lot of Lucerne many moons ago. I don't remember being this bad. King of the Hammers, Dave lays out a nasty course. Like I got a flat, like the first mile of prologues. I blew the hood off at less than a mile. Before I got the flat, there's a nice downhill left corner into some sand whoops, and I came off it probably a little too hot and it disintegrated the hood. That made the vision very difficult for the rest of the prologue. Definitely a challenging course. It's cool though, I like it. This 5-speed behind the Joe Gibbs engine is just amazing. It really wakes the engine up. It keeps the engine in constant power, so when it's running, it's something else. It makes the truck probably 10, 20 miles an hour faster. Cruising around about mile 70, trans started getting hot. Ultimately, I pulled off because we were about 300, 400 degrees on the trans temperature, which doesn't allow the clutches to live. So I pulled off about mile 70. A simple thing as a torque converter pump bushing is what took us out there. But the further we go with the R&D part of the project, you're gonna find the next weakest link. And so it just brings us back to the drawing board, unfortunately. Another DNF in a race, but it's kind of what we signed up for. So we got the Mint this week. Go out to Barstow, do about a 100-mile shakedown and bring it back, clean her up, and go do some qualifying for the Mint. Men's always just been super rad. I just love the atmosphere. I love doing the parade, driving down the boulevard, closing down Fremont Street. It's just, it brings a whole different vibe to the racing. There's thousands of people there in Vegas just for a vacation, and they don't even know what racing is. They get to see the trucks. A Mint 400 win is huge to us. That's our goal. We want to overall the Mint. The Mint's very important to both of us. I think we got a 4th and like a 7th, a couple of DNFs there, but we really want this overall win. In developing a brand new product with someone, you're going to go through highs and lows. We've finished a few races with it. We've DNF'd a few races with it. We've had some good tests with it, had some bad tests with it. So we're knocking on the door of getting this thing handled, and then it's going to be the next thing we need to make our trucks that much faster, to give us that much more of an advantage on the rest of the field. We're trying to be one step ahead of everyone as this sport continues to get faster and faster. The shop's kind of a mess. There's parts everywhere. Last week and this week, Cole, Sean, and myself got the trucks taken all the way down to a chassis. After every race, we strip the trucks down all the way to frame and ship all the parts, all the suspension out to get magged and sandblasted and repainted.
Can you check this one? Have check it.
Yeah. Clean them up and inspect everything to make sure everything's good for the next race. You guys are doing a great job. I give you a round of applause, but it doesn't work.
Thanks, boss. It's like a golf clap.
Yeah. Well, I got this beautiful piece of arm jewelry from the Parker 250. I always race my bike at the Parker 250. This year I had a pretty good get off coming into pit 2. Wrist was really sore, I was pretty banged up, iced it down and made it to the finish. And you know, being a male than I am, I'm not going to the hospital. It should heal itself. So that was in January, so coming up late March, I decided to go to the hospital and have it looked at because it wasn't getting any better. Found out I have a broken hand. So my duties in the shop have been supervising, and they put me to work sweeping today, so I'll make the floor look really nice. Upon our return to Mexico, we wanted to try something different, so we left the body carbon and did a reddish clear coat over it. Outside, when the sun hits it, it really pops, and you can see all the carbon through it, so it's like red and carbon. Locals loved it, everyone loved it. It was a big hit. Qualifying for San Felipe was definitely not my favorite. I had never been there before. Everyone kept saying, oh, it's in the sand pit, it's in the sand pit. I didn't know what the sand pit is, but they weren't kidding, it's a sand pit. Like, dude, how is this a qualifying course? I was pretty bummed after the practice lap. It's like, dude, there's no way we can't even compete for the top spot in this course with a two-wheel drive. I tried to take a little different approach rather than being crazy and overshooting all the berms and getting stuck and starting dead last. So we just ran a pretty conservative pace, a hard conservative pace. Didn't make too many mistakes, just tried to get through the sand without a spinning tire and ended up 11th. I wasn't too bummed with the 11th spot. It was not that bad of a spot to start. All the fast guys up front, then we're right there. So plan was to start there and go to the front. It was really cool to have the full-blown tech back and so many fans coming around the truck. It's just super rad to see all their enthusiasm, to see how happy they are to see the truck. Even while we're out pre-running down weeks before, there's fans everywhere, locals all over the place during the week, dancing around the side of the course, cheering us on, and we're just pre-running, but they're super happy to see us. It's awesome.
I like it, I like it. I like it.
That's the raddest part for Kevin and myself down there at Tech is to pull up on the stage, do a quick little interview, and then throw out stuff to the fans. They love it. They get super excited, and then when we come back down for the next race, they're wearing it. So that's really rewarding for us to see them just wearing our stuff after we get to just toss it out and make a scene in Tech. I was standing up on the truck throwing some hats, and I'm pretty sure I glanced over and saw some kids running around the beach with a shark. I don't know if it was live or dead, but they definitely had a shark. It was pretty awesome to say the least.
Sorry.
Race morning, everything was feeling good. We were hoping when the green flag dropped, adrenaline would kick in. Again, we started right down next to the beach. That was cool. I haven't started in town before. We used to start out by the arches. Wasn't really bummed on starting 11th. I know our truck works good enough that I could get a lot of people in the whoops. We spend a lot of time making our trucks work really well, so I think we're faster up Zoo Road than they are. Took off, everything was going good. Just cruising up Z Road, trying to dodge everyone and not have an accident myself. They think we're in control. I don't know what everyone else says, but I don't feel I'm in that control. It's just third gear as fast as the truck can go, skipping across these whoops, and there's people just walking across the course. And the truck is skipping, and you're just hoping that you're keeping it straight, and they don't care. I had one guy walk right in front of us, didn't even look at us. You don't want to hit anyone, but you don't want to lift because you're in a race. It's sketchy at best going down that first set of whoops. Made the right going down to mile 45 and came by a bunch of spectators, and there's a pretty good kicker. It pops the nose up really good. Came into that, set up, popped the nose, flew out of it. When I hit the ground, had no power steering. I was yelling at Bo, turn the motor off, turn the motor off. Because usually you lose a belt, you lose an oil pump belt, and you got to turn it off quick.
70, we lost all steering. Lost the belt, lost steering, lost something pulling out. We're gonna get out and look.
I thought it was just a belt, like, oh, we can fix this, no problem. Had a problem getting the hood off. One of the hood pins was bent, so I had to beat it off with a hammer. And then once we got out, had all the tools, go to change the belt and saw that alternator pulley came off. So we sat there. Where, Bo? We just have horrible luck. We were pretty stoked coming into this race that we're gonna have a solid finish. Then that happened. I think it took us down about 40 minutes waiting for the boys to get there with the right parts and swap them out. So we ended up getting it fixed. Cole and Jerry and Mark and everyone showed up to the truck, started working, I got it done, buckled in. We didn't get past by any one cars or 6100 trucks yet, so that was kind of cool for me to not sit in dust. Kept cruising, flawless from there on. Kind of backed it down in a few spots because we were already in dead last. We just really wanted to finish, and I wanted to get Kevin the truck more than anything, so got to Kevin at mile 130. Handed the truck off, saw that a piece of the hood was broke off, so pulled that real fast so I didn't obstruct his view, and off he went. The same state of mind after our downtime being last, just get to the finish. We've been having our run of bad luck with our testing and R&Ding, so getting a finish was huge for us and the team. So he just kept cruising along, and then we're listening on the radio, or clearing 170, 180, all right, cool. And then we hear 205, all good. Like, all right. 5 seconds later, they cleared the pit. They're on the radio. The spare alternator we had put on, that pulley, it was an older design pulley, that one broke. Oh man, there's, again, like gut wrenching, like dang it. Luckily they were close enough to the pit. Sean and Jeff and Jim were able to jump in the chase truck, run out there. We had another spare, threw that one on. I think that one was like 15, 17 minutes, something like that. All the hard work seems to pay off when you cross the finish line. Obviously, we want to win everything, but even just getting the finish after a string of DNFs is just uplifting. It brings the whole team up, brings the mood for the next race, just the morale back to the top. So we were stoked to cross the finish line with San Felipe.
Yeah, kind of a rough day today. Had to change 2 alternators, but other than that, got to the finish. We needed a good finish down here and needed a decent start for the 500. So here we are.
Crystal, how was it? How'd you do today?
Oh, great. We finished. Whoop, whoop.
I got that beautiful medallion, and it was all smiles for Kevin and myself, Brent and Bo, and the entire team.
250. Yeah.
Start 14th to the 500. We'll do our homework and try to just plug along and see what we can make happen there. We've done a lot of Best in the Desert, Legacy up here, but down in Mexico, we're still new. Baja 500, the Baja 93. So coming into the Baja 500, there's no qualifying. You start where you finished from San Felipe. Unfortunately, this was the first race that I got to miss due to my cast. Called on Kevin to do the whole thing.
Finish up our pit meeting for Baja 500.
Are you excited?
Very. Absolutely. Have a hell of a day.
He was 100% ready for it. They went down, him and Brent pre-ran for weeks. Kevin, also being a madman, held it wide open for the entire stretch of pavement. Start of the race was all good. Truck was 100% dialed. Cruising along pretty good. Passed a couple people on the way down to Ojos, got through Ojos, and then heard on the radio that he was having a steering issue at about mile 72, right before the road crossing. Luckily for us, we had guys right there, Cole and Sean, and I think Mark went in there real fast, had the parts, got the truck back together. Put a new line of fitting on, got the truck running. Lost a few positions, but he was ready to continue on. I was up at mile 93 and they started calling on the radio about mile 90 that alternator lights were flashing, the dashes were going crazy, we were losing voltage.
Well, we're having another alternator issue. Race mile 93 up in the summit. It's gonna be a very long day.
You didn't hear it, stinks like crazy.
They got the truck to me, smelled horrible. Smelled like the worst electrical fire you've ever smelled. Like, they wanted to jump out of the truck because they were suffocating so bad. Trying to see if we can continue on. What we diagnosed was the computer that controls the hydraulic jacks got water and moisture in it and shorted out. So it started melting all the wiring in the truck. Electrical issues usually don't fix themselves. We just had to tow the truck down and had to call that one due to electrical issues.
We'll be back for the 400. Sure.
You got nowhere else to go, let's truck it down to Mexico and drink tequila in the sun all day. It's hard to be a great success if you got no time to disconnect. Tell yourself that everything's okay.
It's cool to be back downtown, right in the main drag, and letting all the fans actually come up, see the truck, touch the truck, take pictures, get some stickers and some hats and shirts and stuff. So like, that's what it's all about, keeping the people of Baja happy. And you'll be sitting in the truck, you have a stack of stickers, but you kind of hide them because you're trying to give out one, you end up giving out 20 or 30. Kind of crazy how many kids will come out of the woodworks when they see you hand one sticker. And parents for that matter too. Everyone wants a sticker down there. So it's kind of rad. We need to bring more, just pass them out all day long.
My last 3 words are pedal to the metal. Oh, that was hard.
Just like San Felipe, I have yet to qualify on Jose G's land out there in Ensenada, so I didn't know what to expect coming into it. I went into it a little too excited since I haven't driven since I broke my hand, so I haven't driven in months. Overshot a few turns and just hung the back tires over the edge a couple times and just slipping and sliding everywhere. And I think we ended up 15th in class, and that put us 17th overall. Felt good to get back qualifying, felt good driving the truck again, but obviously not the result I was looking for, but we'll make the best of it race day. This is my first time driving back after my wrist surgery. It's been a few months, but it's still not healed. My buddy Doc Jones, that we used to build a race car for and race with for a while, suggested to wear a brace, almost like a mental thing, not to use it as bad and to re-injure it. This year was my first time doing the false start. Kevin usually starts. So we got up on the new highway and it's green light, no speed zone, as fast as you can go. I'm stupid, so I just went in and gave it full throttle all the way to 5th gear and held it 5th gear for the entire length of the highway until the speed zone, which was kind of sketchy. Every little thing, the truck just kind of wiggles, so pretty much a white knuckle moment until the very end. There's one really sharp turn on the pavement, and Brent said, "Hey, if you want to lift for this one, I'd be okay with it." Your adrenaline's going, you're beginning of the race, you just did 100 and some odd miles an hour down the pavement, so you're like fired up, and then comes right into some rollers on this fence line, right in like people's houses. Some of you can jump, some of you can smack the face of the other one. Our game plan was move forward and survive until after Mike's. And when you got down after Mike's, opened up a little bit towards the beach section, that's where you can actually do some passing and stuff. But we're just trying to pick our way through and get to the fast sections where we can really shine. Definitely changed the course dramatically. There was mud everywhere, like 100-mile-an-hour sections. You come sliding into a corner and there's a big mud puddle 30, 40 feet. We marked them all, but race day, sometimes I don't listen as well as I'm supposed to. I dodged like 2 or 3 out the start, and then after 77, there was a big one, and I just came in, I think, full kill. And it was like 2 or 3 in a row. I just locked the brakes up and then said, screw it. We just gassed it, tried to get over them. It just completely covered everything. Couldn't see, covered the truck. Going to the puddles, it's either one or the other. Some of them are so big, you want to lift and then you drop the nose down and then you completely build a tidal wave of mud and water over the hood. But sometimes at 100, 112, you don't know how sketchy the truck's gonna get, but you don't want to be covered in mud either. Best approach is to go faster. Hold it into them and just like, but yeah, you don't get any mud. Nothing comes out of the hood when you're skimming them. The race was going great. Couldn't have asked for anything better. By like our first splash, we splashed at like 120. We were already in the top 10 on road. kept asking, how's my pace, because we kept getting splits and we were doing fine. We were moving forward. 150 miles in, I said, I'm just gonna keep going. I'm not gonna make any mistakes the way we were moving. Coming up onto the Mike's turnoff out of Trinidad, I heard we had a 20-second lead on Bryce. Corrected time, but long way away from the finish. I was like, okay, we're moving forward, doing all right. Going over Mike's, lost about a minute and a half. Truck just cruising through there, and through that section, you can't do anything about it. Once you top Mike's and come down into La Jolla Ranch and everything, you can't pass. Race was still going good, had plenty of miles to go. We knew other people had to pit because our strategy got to about 210 and pitted and got fuel and tires. Coming up was a section that we felt we were going to be really strong. Our truck is fast. I knew the section and we were going to try to make some moves to go to the front there. Started clicking through the gears. I got to fifth gear, down about 115. Boom! It was horrendous noise. I thought maybe blew a transmission, blew a third member. Had all neutrals, pulled over, jumped out. It's just a drive shaft. It's just a drive shaft. Like, no rocks to hit or nothing. I was hoping if I'm going to lose a drive shaft, I hit a really big boulder, but I started changing. It actually broke the ears off the U-joint. When we broke the U-joint, the drive shaft spun around like violently and spread the yoke on the transmission. So I cruised it to about colonette, trying not to hurt anything with the vibration. At that point, I was like, all right, chance of a win's gone, but we need to finish. Like, we're tired of not finishing. Pulled in, had the boys check the truck, put a new drive shaft, and actually did a little, called the washer trick to fill the spacer and tighten everything back up. They did that pretty quick. We didn't even get past by the 1 cars yet, so we were still in the trophy trucks, which is cool. We're not too far back. At that point, we just backed it off. Story of our season so far, started hearing a really bad noise. My experience, I knew it was coming from the drop set in the transmission. Pulled down into Arandera, and knowing from Arandera to the finish line how badly we would have been stuck when, not even if, when the transmission finally gave out, we would have sat there all night, so I called it. The U-joint breaking, the drive shaft took the transmission out, so
no way it's gonna make it.
we fixed our transmission problem, found the next weak link, but that weak link ended up taking the transmission out, so we had to call it a day before we destroyed anything else. At that exact moment, we're super bummed because we're getting ready to put the truck on the trailer we broke, but seeing the whole team gathered around and talking about how bad the race was going, I don't know if this is why we come back to race. want to go for a championship. We want to win a score championship. We want to contend with the top dogs. The top 3, top 5, I think, are Mason four-wheel drives. Hopefully try to campaign next year in the four-wheel drive. Do I think I can still beat him in the two-wheel drive? Absolutely. But all the big dogs had the four-wheel drive, so Kevin jumped on board and he said, we're getting what they have. Hopefully that puts us right there with that elite 10-15, and we're always contending for the lead and the win in the Mexico races.
Why do we enjoy racing Baja so much? The hardest competition, and the four-wheel drives and two-wheel drives, and I think it's tough as ever, and which makes it fun. There's so much passion down there, it's incredible, and the freedom they have and the freedom we have to be able to run, you know, almost anywhere out there is what's great about it, and it's like no other. I love doing the handouts, you know, on stage. It's so fun, and it's, you know, it's so nice to be appreciated so much down there, and they just love the sport so much, and we love them.
Down here, Baja, California, Ensenada, night before the race, Baja 1000. Getting trucks rearranged, pit trucks all ready to go.
We're making some final adjustments for race day. Make sure the truck is 100%.
Making sure our rules are followed. One rule we got to follow. This thing's got to beep at every VCP.
Obviously, always a fresh prep before every race. Everything brand new for the 1000. It's the Mac Daddy of them all. So had to get some shakedown miles on it. Everything checked out good, and last thing we had to do was put on our cameras, you know, Tuba films, and we're ready to go.
Starting as far back as we are, we know that the guys we're usually racing are going to have a hard time paying attention to us. So hopefully sneak up on them. That's today's plan.
Starting on the highway, I love it. Speed we get to is incredible, and feeling that against you, against your helmet, I love the start. Pretty wild going from 150 maybe plus to 35-mile-an-hour zone. Once we get off that speed zone and see that crowd and get to those jumps, and your adrenaline gets back going again.
Volunteering for Tuba from the Eye in the Sky on my trusty iPhone. John was kind enough to recruit me for that job, so I'm going to do the best I can.
Again, we were really excited. We've had some really strong, good runs, with the changes we made to our truck, engine and trans. We've had some good long pre-runs and good races. So we felt really confident. We were going good, like everybody, cruise control. I think we were sent some dust and converter failure took us out, so had to drop the whole transmission, replace it. Fortunately, where we did that, it took a while to get to a spot to be able to change it and get our pit crew access in, so we were down like 3 hours.
Clear the fire.
Yeah, we got back going, and of course we're in the very back, so we were just cruise control. Let's get a finish. Again, seeing the passion of the fans down there is so fun. They're also places you would never think you would ever see them. It's wild, and they've been there all day, and it's like, holy moly, how'd you get up here? Number one. Number two, why are you up here watching this section? So again, it's pretty neat and shows a passion of them. We had some other light issues and some small issues. Being late in the day, it wasn't nothing, just we weren't planning on that, so. I was about a quarter of a second late on a turn and drove it down a little drop. High centered, my knee bumped it in neutral at the bottom, so then I got stuck. That's why how I got stuck down there. So after that, it didn't really do too much to the truck, but we were down, so we just called it a day. Cannot not love Rage and Laughlin. It's Harley and I is one of our favorite. It's so aggressive, so fun, so short. I love it. I love Snore and Rage at the River.
Hey, I thought you weren't driving this weekend.
I'm trailer loader guy.
qualifying. It was a 3-mile course. Hit everything just right. Didn't overdrive anything. Didn't underdrive anything. Harley just snuck over a few minutes ago and told us we qualified first overall. So.
You got first place overall.
Oh, did we?
Yes.
Get out.
Yes.
Oh my God. Awesome.
Good job.
Lap and a half, we lost front brake lines. Ended up losing all the brakes. Had to pull in, fix that.
There's fluid coming out right at the key.
That reservoir's down an inch.
Slow leaking tire and then a steering issue. So kind of a rough Saturday. It was kind of going like that a little bit. Maybe like that.
Kevin Thompson, you're nuts. Skid plate, 90 degrees. Boom, boom, boom.
good till it wasn't.
We never get down. We're looking forward to next year. We're coming at you, and with some new equipment.